Tongues Untangled
with Toady Mac
and Levi.
I don't really know the balance run. Now they give me balance, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we like on Sunday. I don't really know the balance run. Now they give me balance, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we like on Sunday.
What's good, what it is, lovers of lyricism. This is Tongues Untangled.
The very first episode.
The very first episode, Tongues Untangled with Toady Mac and Levi.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is my husband, Toady Mac. He's a rapper, producer, entertainment entrepreneur, and music business consultant.
Yeah, and this is Levi. She's an overall professional businesswoman in the music industry, but most importantly, or most popularly known for being a talent manager and an events manager, right? And she loves good music.
I love good music.
And most importantly, good Motswako music.
Yeah,
right?
like I veer to Motswako. Yeah.
And it's a weird thing because she doesn't quite understand the lyrics. I don't understand how, but there's a lot of people like that. In fact, that's what Tongues Untangled is all about, right? We are here to untangle these tongues that people don't understand but love so much, especially in Motswako, because I'm always explaining lyrics to my wife, and so we decided, hey, why don't we just take this thing and make it a podcast?
Yeah, because there's so many people that love Motswako but don't understand what's being said sometimes, you know, and there's like misinterpretation. So
people butcher lyrics. You butcher lyrics.
I don't just butcher lyrics.
Oh, you're gonna witness.
I can't. Like, I'm Indian. Come on, man. I'm Indian, right? So I don't pronounce the words properly. So when I say it to you the way I think it is, and you laugh at me. So I don't think I've got friends. I've got friends.
Funny.
Yeah, that it's the same thing. Zulu friends, Pedi friends, you know. Yeah. So let's untangle some tongues.
Yeah, we're gonna be untangling some tongues. And speaking of which, we actually have a Zulu-speaking friend who fell in love with Motswako, and he had to go through to the Sotho-speaking side of his hood to link up with his Sotho-speaking friend so they could explain some Motswako lyrics to him. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, check this out.
Hey, yo, what it do there?
What's good, man?
Mandile Truth Timber, David John Truth, man, the mouthpiece, order you. You're watching Tongues Untangled, and this is my story. Man, let me tell you how I caught on to Motswako Originator. Basically, I caught that from Mahan, actually, back in PE. There's a shorty I used to be with back in PE, so I used to go and visit that side, come back, do that whole thing. So when I went there, I had the alter ego with me. So they didn't know the alter ego. And obviously Kuli was there in the album, getting featured there. So now I'm introducing them to that album, and Honey introduced me to that album, to Motswako Originator. Right. So I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna have to listen to this album, but I need the buzz to be quiet for me to listen to this album. Yeah. And then I popped that thing. Yo, that thing went like ooh, ooh, ooh. Yo.
Welcome back to Tongues Untangled with Toady Mac and Levi. That was Wandi, our friend. Why don't you tell the people here
the thing
who
is,
Wandi is?
Wandi is, he's a good friend. Yeah. He's a rapper. Wandi's AKA is the truth. Mm-hmm. He is frontman for a band, a hip-hop band that we know in the East Rand, Future History. Wandi's a dope rapper. Yes. You should know Future History because Future History used to open up at Back to the City. At the time, it was the only hip-hop band with brass and trumpets and
Zulu dancers on stage, and they would have Reason on stage jump on. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. So that's Wandi, right?
First time I saw them, I was blown away.
Yeah. So Wandi a good friend of mine growing up. This is like back in 2012, right? So we spent this December together, myself and the Future History Band, and the albums that we were playing, one of them was Motswako Originator. So I made Wandi explain to me, song for song, line for line, what Kuli was saying where and there, you know? Because I'm like, what is it? That sounds so cool. Wandi explains to me.
He would have.
Right? No, he explains to me nicely. Little did I know. The reason why he's a Zulu guy, Wandi Zulu, the reason why he could explain to me is because he had to go to his best friend who lives in the Sotho section of Davidton to explain to him what was being said. And then I had to find out that, I think he told you and I that the girl, the person who gave him the CD to Motswako Originator is a girl from PE.
Yeah, a closer girl from PE. Can you imagine?
And she just liked the one song. She had the album for Standwa Sam.
So check this out. Let me put this in line. A closer girl introduced a Zulu guy to a Motswako CD.
And she only liked Standwa Sam. Right?
And he listened to the whole CD and he was like, wait a minute, this is some heat, but I can hear this is Sotho in here, so I'm going to go to the other side of the hood where they speak this and find out and get this tongue untangled.
Yeah, how dope is that?
Wow.
So now, one of my favorite Kulichana songs is Futhumatsa.
Track 1.
Yeah, and so is Wandi's, right?
You know? And it just so happened to be produced by yours truly.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Don't act like you didn't know.
I did it. It's probably why I didn't even know you back then.
So what's the tongue that we untangling from this song today?
Okay, so I may not be able to pronounce this properly. Right?
Yeah,
but there's a line somewhere.
Say it how you hear it.
I think it goes like Mogere feletse re etsa sopa ra chesa, like smoko moditse beng tsa tsotsi ra setla, something like that.
That's good, baby. I gotta say that's good. High five it. That's good, baby. That was a dope attempt, I gotta say. Somebody's laughing out there, but I'm not. So
really,
yeah. Mo re feletse re tsa sopo ra chesa like smoke mo ditsebeng tsa tsotsi ra setla. I think that's how the line
I
goes.
sound nothing. That I cannot hear that when you say it, I'm like, that's not what I was trying to say. So
Mogo.
clearly,
Mogo re feletse
re feletse
re tsa sopo
re tsa sopo
ra chesa
ra chesa,
like smoke mo ditsebeng
mo ditsebeng
tsa tsotsi ra setla. Okay, let me untangle this time.
Yeah, no, what does it mean?
Okay, so Mogo re feletse re tsa sopo ra chesa, it simply means together we cook a hot thing, you know?
All right.
To translate it directly, it means together we make soup, we are hot. Right? But it actually,
like we're good in the kitchen.
we are good together, we are good in the kitchen, baby. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's poetic.
Okay.
You see,
yes.
That's why we need you on this show. You gonna make us sound smart. And the next line goes like smoke like a whip on the ears of a tsotsi. We hit hard, you know. So it's like we hit you hard with the lyrics.
Got you.
Know?
So together we cook.
We good in the kitchen.
Together we good in the kitchen.
And we hit you with lyrics.
Smack your ears with lyrics.
We smack your ears with lyrics. Yeah. Very
That's
deep.
dope.
Very deep, very poetic way to say that.
That's dope.
Big up to Kulichana for them lines, man.
Kuli, that's one of my favorite, even till today, like.
Yeah. Props to the lyricist.
Hey, yo, what's going on? It's your boy DJ Slim, the rock star DJ. And I am so honored to be on Tongues Untangled with Tony Mac and Levi. Speaking, if you're going to have a conversation, man, if you're going to have any type of conversation about the best lyricists in South African hip-hop history, you can't have that conversation and not include Kudi Chana. I mean, you know, from the first album, from the first song on the album, Futhumatsa, he's been consistent with just giving us some of the best lines, some of the best flows, like to date, you know, like in the history of SA hip-hop, in the history of music, you know. And I mean, speaking of lines, like one of the first lines didn't even come when he went solo. For me, one of the first lines that hit me from Kuli started with a song called Dula back in the Murafe days. And in that song, he actually spits a line that where he says, Murafe living proof with Smartla. And I just lost it, like when I heard that line. I was like, who is this guy? Like, damn.
And that brings us to Backstage Lectures on Tongues Untangled with Tony Mac and Levi. And this is the segment where we get to untangle any music business related topic. Mm-hmm. And this time around, we're talking about, well,
publishing versus publicity.
Yeah. And a lot of people get that mixed up.
Yes.
Right? Because the words kind of sound similar. Publicist, publisher, you know. And so with a publisher, I'll explain that because that has more to do with music and production and the protection of music rights. Basically, a publisher would be someone who makes sure that the collecting societies such as Samro, such as Sampra, and them that collect your royalties on your behalf when your music plays on platforms such as radio or television, these are the people that go and collect on your behalf.
Right.
Your publisher will also go around shopping your music to maybe get placement on an advert or in a film or stuff like that. Right. Yeah, so basically your publisher I would say is your music administrator. Okay. Or your intellectual property manager, you know, somebody that makes sure that the creative works that you create or the property that you create, because you got to understand, while an idea is still in your head, it's still just an idea. But the moment you put it down, there's a copyright within it. And a publisher is someone who helps you protect all your rights that have to do with that copyright, with that intellectual property.
Right.
Yeah.
But why can't an artist be their own publisher? An artist
can be their own publisher. That's a very good question. An artist can be their own publisher, but it's very difficult because you need to have all the connections that a record label does.
Right.
You know, so you're not going to walk into Ogilvy and just say, yeah, I use my song on this ad. But a record label can.
Yes.
You know, so those relationships, until you've built those relationships, I would say you hire somebody else to kind of do the publishing for you until you can maneuver your way around the game by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I like that. I actually understood it a little bit better.
Yeah. So you tell us now about a publicist, because now we know what a publisher is.
Right.
What's a publicist, and you know, do they have anything to do with music rights?
A publicist is somebody who deals with your image.
Okay, how I look to the public.
How you look, how you sound, how you sound on social media. Okay. It deals with reputation management, integrity of the individual, of the brand or the person. Okay. Yes. So publicist. So now, publicist gets mixed up with a public relations manager, a PR manager.
So you want to tell me PR officer is not the same as a publicist?
No. Now, and here's the difference very easily. A publicist deals with your image. It's a personal thing. Your brand. Right? It's a personal thing. A public relations officer deals with the communication of your brand or your product to the public.
Oh,
Yes.
Or an organization.
Or an organization,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
The reason why it gets mixed up is because both roles, both career roles, almost do the same things, but not a publicist.
What are the gray areas then?
So a publicist and a PR person can do press kits, press releases, write them up. They can do your bios and your profiles. Okay. But a publicist, however, it can also be responsible for, and it's the same with the PR person, whereas so they go and they pitch ideas for you, for your brand, or for you as an individual to be on television platforms, radio platforms, interviews and stuff like that, promos. Okay. Yeah, but just difference. Think of it this way: publicist deals with inside,
the image,
the inside.
Yeah.
The PR, public relations, deals with the outside.
The people, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So a publicist deals with how you look to the people, and a public relations deals with what you do and what you say.
Your communication, your
public,
your individual communication out to the public.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for that, babe. Like, I could have easily told someone they need a PR officer when they need a publicist, or the other way around. So thank you so much for untangling that for us.
It's my pleasure.
Dope. Yeah, and that was Backstage Lectures on Tongues Untangled with Toady Mac and Levi. And that brings us to the end of the first episode of Tongues Untangled with Toady Mac and Levi. That was fun.
That was fun. Baby, do you have any words of wisdom for us?
Yes, some words of wisdom I got. Look, I always say this. I think you've probably heard me say this before, but it's the most important thing right now. Your mud is your gold.
Yeah, definitely.
And that simply means whatever it is that you're taking for granted, whatever it is about yourself that you're overlooking, about your environment, where you live, your home, your family, your culture, or even your family lineage, the stories of your grandparents, great-grandparents, things about you that you take for granted, sometimes maybe even ashamed of. Yeah. That story might be your bestseller. Your mud is your gold. Where you live, stop trying to, for example, if you're a musician, stop trying to appear on music videos living a life you don't really live, Show us something special about the life that you really live, and people will love you more for that. People will relate to you, and the world will gravitate towards you, because some of the things you can show the world just from your backyard, the world can't duplicate anywhere. You could teach somebody in Japan, London, or New York something new that they've never seen or heard before.
Yeah.
Like how we untangling tongues here, we teaching somebody in New York a new lingo, new language through lyrics. You know what I mean?
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
So, do us a huge favor.
Yes.
And if you liked today's episode, hit the subscribe button and follow us on all our social media platforms.
Right here. You see it right here on the lower thirds. Yeah. Let us know what's up, and let us know if you have a tongue you'd like to get untangled. If you got a Motswako song that you love and you don't understand the lyrics, maybe you've been butchering a chorus. Just a bit the yaupenya.
We need to get to one of those.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of tongues to untangle. Send in your suggestions. Hit us up on our social media. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the reminder button.
And the share, man. Like, if you liked it, please share.
Yeah. Tongues untangled, baby.
Until next time, let's find some tongues to untangle. Tongues Untangled
with Toady Mac
and Levi.
I don't really know the balance run. Now they give the ball, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we like on Sunday. I don't really know the balance run. Now they give the ball, I could come around. Cause there's a lot of things that we can talk about. When we can chop it up, we like on Sunday.